Find your mouthpiece and put on your jock straps. It's the Sports Blitz with Doug and Robbie.
Okay, how long is your show?
You guys have such a great setup.
Listen, if you're under a rock or if you're in a cave, come on out and listen to our episode.
It was fun talking baseball. I love talking Red Sox. I love talking coaching.
I don't care because I would rather there not be an MLB season than have to sit and watch the colossal embarrassment.
Hey, hello, I am Bloom. Yeah, it's Doug and Robbie from the Sports Blitz. I just wanted to find out whether you need some pitching.
There you go. In 5, 4, 3.
And a hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Blitz. As always, first of all, I hope everybody's doing well out there. But I am Robbie, and I am joined tonight by my amazing co-host, who, by the way, through the magic of satellite, is joining us from the moon, apparently, tonight. My pal Doug, a.k.a. Doug the Spaceman, is joining us from above Earth tonight. Doug, first of all, I got to ask, how's the weather up there?
Really cold. Really, really, really cold.
Yeah, I think you're a little underdressed for the elements there, my friend.
Yeah, I am, but I am, and I'm just kind of floating out here, which is really cool. So if you see me floating every once in a while, it's because that's what happens when there's zero gravity.
Yeah.
So it is really good. I know unbelievably. I don't know if they do Zoom calls from the moon, but they do obviously video from the moon. But I'm not sure if it's Zoom.
Astronauts do have to communicate somehow. So
they do, but I'm not sure if it's actually Zoom. But Zoom, actually, you could hear me pretty well.
Yeah,
and
you hear you really well. Yeah, you're coming loud and clear.
Floating around and just hanging up here for a little bit. We're doing some sports. I don't know if you can see it, but like right over there, trying to kind of floating. They're tethered, so they're kind of floating around and doing some stuff.
It's gotta be kind of hard to play sports up there, like the whole zero gravity thing. The ball just like floating around.
You gotta weight it down a little bit. So if you're gonna play football, you gotta do something with the football. I think Brady would
also
have
tackling,
real hard time.
Also tackling people would be kind of hard, in space.
Brady would have. I'm sorry, I'll retract that. Brady would have an easier time because you actually have to take some of the air out of the ball. Sorry.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm gonna start a petition to make this mood settlement permanent for Doug.
I can't be up here too long. The air is
I know, yeah.
That's kind of lightheaded at this time.
Yeah. But Doug, in all seriousness, how are you tonight, my friend? It's been like a week or so since we've been on air. So how are you doing?
You're doing great. Really excited about this episode, and we got a couple of pretty cool subjects to talk about, and very excited.
Yeah, very excited. And as always, I'm now going to talk for a moment and then throw it right back to Doug to give us the lowdown on tonight's big sponsors that we have here on the Sports Blitz. And I'm just going to sort of stop right there and let Doug take it away as he always does with tonight's sponsorship. So Doug, what we got?
Excellent. Tonight's sponsorship is we have Zyman Organizing. That's one thing that they don't have to do is a bunch of rocks. So there's nice rocks. But on Earth, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people that need some organizing and feeling overwhelmed. Robbie sometimes feels a little overwhelmed with other drawers.
Yeah,
some drawers we won't talk about because they're just not necessary.
Well, can I say this actually was visiting with our good pal and your Marvel at the Movies, my on a couch talking sports co-host Kyle the other night, and I told him, I was like, but you could really use a nice visit from Zyman Organizing there. Just he's got a little he does okay, but sometimes just with the instruments and the laptop and everything, it just gets a bit out of sorts. So I told him, you gotta call Zyman Organizing. They will help you.
Absolutely. They will work to create and organize a space that's serene. And I like that word because serene means it's comfortable, it's nice, it's a joy to be in that particular room because you know that it's organized. Just remember, assignment organizing, creating a stress-free home, and our second is, of course, our last Sports Blitz guest, our last Sports
Not
Blitz special
ever, not
guest.
last Sports Blitz guest
No, no, no,
ever.
no. I just meant the last one we
No, I
had
know.
on the show.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
not the last one ever.
No,
But yeah.
I was more just trying to make a funny.
No,
there,
that's
but
fine.
no,
That's fine. That's fine. Not a problem. I totally understand. I started to say it. I was like, wait a minute. That's not the last guest. We our last episode, we actually had a guy on. He's our second sponsor. His name is Wes Woodson.
Yeah.
This is his book. I actually took the book up to space because I needed to read it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So it was really cool.
Gets a little boring up there if you don't have something to read or
got my little. Hey, it's got my bookmark in it, and it's got some space. Pretty cool. Anyway, Wes has got a book out. It says, "I have anxiety. So what?" Sorry about that. It's kind of way there. He basically talks a lot about anxiety and stress, and mostly about anxiety. And I think it's important that he gets the information out there. And he goes on different tours around the country, talking about himself, his story, about anxiety in his life. He's got a couple books out. That just happens to be the first one of the books that he. And it really, kind of gives an idea of kind of what he's gone through in his life. And I know that there are many people out there that have maybe the same kind of story. And I think a lot of his words can help other people out there. And I think it's a great story, and we're here to tell it. And you got to look at the Sports Bliss. Sports Bliss. See, this is what happens when there's zero gravity. There's not a lot of air.
Yeah, the words just kind of get chewed up.
Words don't come out the right way.
I hear you.
I believe our show is called, because we've done over 100 episodes. I believe our show is called The Sports Blitz. So that's probably what it is. So the Sports Blitz, our last episode we did last week.
Yes, we know. Yeah.
We had Wes on. So you got to watch that episode because he really tells the story, talks about everything, and it's really phenomenal. So you got to get out there and watch it.
Absolutely.
Oh, and I'm not sure if anybody knows out there. Please go to Wes Woodson's website, or not website. Go to Wes Woodson's his YouTube page, because he does a vlog every week, once a week. His last vlog, he said he was doing 3 different kind of like get-togethers. 2 at his school, and then there was one more he was doing at night. And Robbie, you got to listen to this because I didn't even realize this. He had us on. He was taping.
Oh, no way.
He did.
I have not seen this. No, all right.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to take a look at it.
Everybody's got to look at it because you hear my voice and Robbie's voice in the background.
That's
it's
never
it's
a
the
good
last
thing.
part. It's us like thanking him for being on, that kind of thing. And it was awesome. He said he had 3 places three different places that he was speaking at. And it was really cool. The Sports Blitz, was the 3rd
That's awesome.
that he was doing that night,
right.
and it's really awesome. You gotta look at it.
I am gonna watch it. You folks should definitely watch it. I will be watching it. After we finish up with this
phenomenal, and it's not long.
Blitz.
It's not long, guys.
Right.
It's like
his videos are pretty
9-10 minutes
compact.
long.
Yeah, his videos are usually pretty compact and pretty.
Yeah, it's I think it's
manageable.
about 9 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, which is probably around the same amount of time that anybody watches this show, just in general, of the hour plus that we usually do here.
Oh, they watch about 9 minutes?
Yeah, probably. I know I do.
I think it's probably about 3, but that's.
I was trying to give us more credit than maybe we deserve here. Yeah, I was trying to be nicer to us than maybe we deserve. But speaking of tonight's Sports Blitz episode, it's time to jump in to tonight's Sports Blitz episode. By the way, if you're under a rock or in a cave, definitely come on out and give us a view here. You can probably stay out. I mean, it's completely up to you. But it's.
I'm sorry, Robbie. I'm sorry to
go ahead.
interrupt, but
No,
I
go
just
ahead.
want to tell everybody that the vlog is about 12 minutes long. I believe it's called The Lifestyle of a Professional Public Speaker. That's what his vlog is called. That particular episode.
Yeah.
But he doesn't call them. He calls them.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Lifestyles of a Professional Public Speaker.
Awesome.
That's what it is. About 12 minutes long, and it's very, very cool.
Got it.
And go see it. So sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay.
I want to give people that information.
Hey, no, I'll appreciate it. I will throw a link to that video in the description, as well as
Awesome.
Wes's YouTube page. So, no, definitely. And like I said, we are now going to get into the core of tonight's episode, because we got a couple of topics we're going to discuss for tonight's episode. And the first one is an event that has been taking place the last few weeks. It actually just wrapped up this past Monday night. It's a big event this time of year, and that is March Madness. Yes, the NCAA men's basketball tournament. It's a 3-week event that really culminates the college basketball season, and is always madness. I think madness is the perfect way to put it, because there's just a lot of storylines and upsets and just everything that you could want in a college basketball tournament that takes place during March Madness. And like I said, the 2022 version just wrapped up this past Monday night with the national championship game in New Orleans, Louisiana, with Kansas taking down North Carolina to win their national championship, and
Paul Pierce versus
Pierce.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. The truth was in the building for the
Michael
national
was
championship
too.
game.
Michael was too.
Yeah, so congratulations to the Kansas Jayhawks, who, by the way, proved me right, because they were my pre-tournament pick in my bracket to win the national title.
So on the brackets.
Yes, my bracket, they actually had 3 of the Final 4 teams correct. So there, go figure. Shout out to Duke, Villanova, and Kansas for giving me 3 of my Final 4. But yeah, Doug, it's interesting. So I know you and I were sort of throughout the tournament, doing some texting back and forth. I know we've talked about March Madness in past years, and you've kind of mentioned how you kind of like to tune in as the rounds get later, sort of getting into maybe the Sweet 16 and onward, so to speak. And
sometimes I watch the 32, but typically it's around the Sweet 16,
which makes total sense. But I wanted to, before we get into sort of the specific storylines of this year's tournament, I just wanted to get sort of your overall views from your perspective on this year's tournament, because there was a lot in this year's edition of March Madness. A lot of storylines that we will get to here. So I just wanted to get some of, before we get into specifics, I just want to get some of your more general thoughts on this year's version of the tournament.
Yeah, I thought the tournament was actually really, really good this year. I just thought a lot of the games were very close. There were some that were not as close, but most of the games I think were fairly close. And those are the kinds of games that are really good. There were some, a couple of schools that you didn't think that were gonna, like, whoa,
or more like, whoa, where is this school? I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you?
And that's what makes it really cool. That's what makes it different. You always want, your regular schools that are in it, your UNC, your Duke, your Kansas, just like the regular, Villanova. You want those regular schools that you always see that are always in the tournament, always in the Sweet 16 typically. So you always want those schools to be in. But if you get a school that is just like, how do they do that? I mean, it's pretty cool to see that too. I just in the games I saw, and I will tell you that at that time we were in the process of kind of moving and stuff like that. So there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I really couldn't watch a lot of the games. Unfortunately, I watched some of the replays, but I didn't watch them. I got some notifications on my phone and watch some stuff, some replays. So, but what it comes down to is that I just I just thought it was what was an overall the tournament went really really well. Whether you pick Kansas to win or not, a lot of fun because the four went to where you wanted it to go, and then you pick the actual winner. Which again, just like you said, doesn't happen. But
Never happens for me. I mean,
yeah, exactly. But for me, when I watch sports, especially a tournament like this, I want to see really good basketball. I want to
oh
see
yeah,
good teams.
oh
That's
yeah,
what I want to see. I want to see the teams that we, and I also want to see teams that we have no idea.
the
That's from
underdog,
East
Yeah,
Lansing, Michigan. What? I mean, where do they come from? What town in Indiana do they? You want to see those teams at least make, and it's like, okay, where are they going to go? Who are they
yeah,
playing? Oh,
yeah.
great, they're playing Villanova. They're gonna get killed.
And then they
And
surprise you.
yeah, exactly. That's what I like about the tournament. So
Yeah,
overall, I thought it was great. What I mean, what do you think?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, I thought it was one of the better March Madnesses that we've seen in a long time. I mean, just the parody I felt like was tremendous.
For the word.
Yeah. No, I just thought it was a tremendous tournament. I thought that there were some really exciting games, lots of exciting, storylines and stuff like that. And it's kind of interesting because sort of the first storyline that I wanted to bring up actually was the team that ended up knocking out the fourth team of my Final Four, which was Kentucky. And that was the just absolute Cinderella times 100 run that was St. Peter's out of Jersey City, New Jersey, who just as a what were they, a 15 seed, I believe? Yes, a 15 seed, just barnstorm their way through not just one round, not just upsetting Kentucky, but then they go on to win in the round of 32. Then they go on to win in the Sweet 16 and they made it all the way to the Elite Eight. I think it's the first time a 15 seeds ever made it to the Elite Eight. And obviously then they ran into North Carolina and their run came to an end. But I mean, let's start right there in terms of storyline, Doug. I mean, St. Peter's, I don't think there were a lot of people that really knew St. Peter's was a school prior to this year's tournament, let alone where it was, or let alone anything about it. And now they've become like America's darling, so much so that like three of their star players are now transferring to bigger Division One schools. So their coach just became the head coach at Seton Hall. So I don't think you'll be seeing St. Peter's back in for a little bit. But just, I mean, what a run. I mean, to be a 15 seed, to win one game as a 15 seed is a story in and of itself. But to make it to the Elite Eight, it was just, and what a team name too, the Peacocks. I mean, just a wild in all sorts of ways. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of get your thoughts on the little team that could there from Jersey City, just making their way through the elites of college basketball all the way there to one step from the Final Four.
Robbie, I love the underdog. I love the
Yeah.
underdog, especially again, one of my favorite movies is Hoosiers, and I know that's on a different level, but that's more on the high school level than the college level. But still, based on a small school, Milan High School, who actually made it to the championship, and basically, had like 8 guys did that 15, and if you watch the movie Hoosiers, it's based very, very closely on the true story of Neon High School. I love that. I think it's awesome, especially if they beat one of the elite teams. It's always good to see that and have an upset and be able to see a team who you think, okay, well, they're a pretty good team because they obviously got there somehow. That's the first thing. But to see a team be able to beat an elite team and then be able to then you're like, okay, now I'm rooting for them. Now I'm
Oh
rooting for
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Now I'm rooting for them. And you know what? If they don't make it, of course you understand. You
Yeah.
understand perfectly. But I just thought it was a great story, especially when you heard about it because it was all over the news.
Oh yeah.
All over regular news, national news, sports, ESPN, you name it. It was on
Twitter,
there.
everywhere.
It was
It was just
everywhere.
blowing
It
up.
was everywhere. It was blowing up everywhere. Bleacher Report, everything. I mean, it was on everything. And once you heard about it, you were like, wait, where are they from? What's going on? So I always love those stories. I thought it was a terrific story and a great storyline. And do you expect them to win the championship? Oh no.
Honestly, with the way they were going, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I think the way they were going,
exactly. I mean, yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I totally agree.
But yeah. I mean, obviously, they were definitely the Cinderella darling of the tournament. I think that the other sort of big storyline, you and I were kind of touching on this, via text and also, off air just before we started up the show, was the fact that in terms of sort of the stalwarts of college basketball, obviously one of the big ones over the years has been the Duke Blue Devils, and under the leadership of Coach Mike Krzyzewski, who this year was coaching in his final March Madness. He is retiring this season after a tremendous, legendary coaching career for Duke, and obviously he's going to be missed in the college basketball ranks because I think you and I both agree that he's arguably one of the, if not the greatest college basketball coach of all time. I think you'd be far-fetched to find a lot of people that wouldn't agree with that assessment. But I mean, obviously, just a great career for him, and what a run to cap it off, because his Duke team made it all the way to the Final Four. And obviously it kind of, with the excitement, also came some heartbreak as well, because who do they end up getting knocked out by? But their arch rivals, one of the top rivalries in college basketball, Duke, North Carolina, and it's UNC who ends up not only, by the way, it's kind of funny because not only did UNC end Coach K's career just in general with the Final Four semifinal victory, but they also, a few weeks back, ended his home coaching career with a loss as well. UNC beating Duke in Coach K's final home game at Duke. So Coach K definitely having a hard time going out against their arch rivals there. But I just wanted to sort of hear from you, Doug, just sort of about that Duke run and sort of what was the swan song for Coach K. Also, just sort of your thoughts. I know we talked a little bit off air and via text and all that, but just sort of your thoughts on the career of the legend, Coach Mike Krzyzewski, as well, just in general.
Yeah, I thought the Duke run was really great. I just it's just like when you think. I guess I kind of equate it to when you think of the Patriots, you think of Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
you just do. I mean, who else do you think about? Do you remember any coaches other than Bill Belichick?
I mean, Pete Carroll, and
exactly.
Parcells,
but
no, I get your point totally.
Well, I think what I'm trying to say is that with all the championships, and with all the accolade that comes with that, and all the other stuff that comes with it. I mean, he obviously is one of the absolute, not just legend, but elite college coaches. Um, you always knew that Duke was going to be good. You always knew that. You
Oh yeah.
always knew that they were going to make it, through as you always knew that they were going to be either in the Final Four or they're going to make it to the Elite Eight. You knew that
Right.
because it wasn't just the players that they got; it was the coach. And he has basically set a huge precedent for, you. I mean, it's like a standard. It's just like when you watch college basketball and you're watching Duke versus whoever. It doesn't matter who it is. Coach Krzyzewski's going to be on the sidelines.
Yeah.
So it's going to be weird not seeing him. I'm not per se a Duke fan, but I do like to watch basketball. And I grew up in the era of watching college basketball. I mean, I'm a basketball fan, so I do like watching college. I do like watching pro. And I grew up in the Tarkanian from UNLV.
Yeah.
Who bit the towel? Always biting the towel.
Yeah.
Georgetown.
How about the Fab Five? Fab Five.
Yep. Fab Five. Yep. Michigan, right? Is that Michigan?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, that whole
exactly.
crew there.
Yeah, exactly. Watching Paul Pierce at Kansas. These kinds of guys, but I come from these coaches too. And we won't mention some coach from I don't know if he's Louisville. But I mean,
he's not even there. He's not even there anymore. So
no, I didn't think it was there anymore. I knew he wasn't there anymore. But I grew up with that. I grew up watching a lot of college basketball in the early to mid '90s.
Yeah.
I was watching UMass. I was watching Marcus King. So I was watching and I was watching,
Hey, how about
you're talking about all those coaches that
how about
that
BC? Because that was like right around when they
Yep.
made it to the Sweet 16, with
Yep.
Back when they were actually good at basketball. But yeah.
Right, exactly. I grew up watching I grew up watching that kind of thing and knowing that Coach K is on Duke, and once we see a Duke game, you're going to see him on the sidelines. Just phenomenal, just a phenomenal career, and to not see him on the sidelines is going to be weird.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not necessarily a Duke fan. I'm just kind of a college basketball fan.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of growing up watching all these coaches. These coaches didn't move that often. They don't move like they move now. I mean, they move so much more often, and some of them will be okay. Some of them, either sometimes they go to the WNBA. Sometimes they may go to the G League, or they call that not the G League.
I think it's the G. I thought it was still the G League.
Yeah, I thought it was. But anyway, those are the kinds of you didn't just watch the players, coaches too. The Orange Men too. I can't remember his
Jim
name.
Boeheim. Jim
Boeheim.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, these are all the elite coaches that I used to see on the sidelines. And again, I'm not remembering. I think the air up here is. I'm just not remembering the coaches I used to see. But I used to watch that kind of thing. So I'm so used to watching a game and saying, "Oh, there he is. There's Tark. He's on the sidelines biting that towel again. He always bit the towel when he was down like and again, used to watch these guys. So it was sad not to see him on the sidelines. And he was also one of the coaches for the Dream Team.
Yeah.
For the Dream Team for the Olympics.
Yeah. And he became the head coach for the more recent Olympic teams as well. So
right, exactly. So it's one of those things where, just a legend, an elite coach, a guy who you knew was going to make it pretty far, and I don't know. I guess he'll just.
No, I mean, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, and it's interesting because I mean, I kind of came up, again, sort of towards the tail end of some of these legendary coaching careers. I mean, I think back to sort of coaches I sort of grew up watching, Boeheim, Krzyzewski, Roy Williams at First Kansas at North Carolina, John Chaney of Temple, definitely a legendary head coach there in the Atlantic 10. John Calipari, obviously, was at UMass and at Memphis, now at Kentucky. I mean, there are definitely quite a few of them, and you're right. I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of get used to it.
You have Jim Calhoun.
Jimmy Calhoun. Yeah, absolutely. Funny, it's kind of a funny thing with Jim Calhoun. First of all, actually, I didn't meet him personally, but I actually saw him out of all places, a Wellesley High School chorus concert one time. I guess his granddaughter went to Wellesley High School, and so so he was in attendance, but he actually coached. I think he just retired for good like this year, but he actually got back into coaching for the last couple of years on the D3 level at St. Joseph's in Connecticut. So he was sort of getting back into the one last run on the in the coaching ranks there.
Well, they're also calling his construction of every team that he had one of the greatest constructions of UConn basketball ever.
Yeah. And look at some of the players that he developed.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at like Richard Hamilton. You look at Emeka Okafor. I don't think he was still coaching in Connecticut when Kemba was there. I think that was a little bit. I think that was after he retired, but I can't remember exactly.
No, he was. He did.
He did coach Kemba. Okay,
He did.
I wasn't sure if
when
that was
Kemba
him
was
or that
having
was
all those
Ollie,
problems.
but
He was the one that they went to and stuck up for Kemba in a big way.
got it. Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So they made
Ben Gordon's another again. Just all these players you could say for like any of these coaches, like all these players that they've churned out that have gone to make like just such names for themselves in the NBA and elsewhere.
I mean, he had Jim Calhoun had 4 appearances in the Final Four and won 3 times. So
by the way, speaking about it, how can we forget Tom Izzo, Michigan State? I mean, he's definitely a legend in his own right as well. I mean, there's so many of them.
Dean Smith, North Carolina.
Yeah, Dean Smith. Yeah, absolutely. A little bit.
Started back in 1961.
Yeah, Dean Smith. I didn't really get to see. I didn't really get to see that much of Dean. I think I was sort of born in his later years of coaching, but you have Dean Smith as well. Yeah, I mean, there's
only
just
11 Final Four appearances. 11 Final Four appearances and 2 national teams.
For wait, who are we talking? Dean Smith. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to go down with all these guys.
Yeah.
He's going to go down with all these guys as an absolute legendary coach. So
Bobby Knight,
Indiana.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, coached Larry Bird for about 3.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Until Larry Bird went to Indiana State because he looked at Indiana, he was like, "Oh." school is way too
but no,
big
there's
for
just
me.
there's just so many. Again, there's just so many of them. I mean, it's there's and that's I think the thing for me is like you're right in the sense that you get used to seeing these coaches, and then when they're not there anymore, when they step away, it's like whoa, it's like you kind of you don't know quite what to think, when you don't have a particular coach, kind of to watch in action anymore. So it's a very, I mean, you're 100% spot on.
Yeah, I mean, somebody before my time, but I've heard of him as Adolph Rupp, who
Yeah.
actually started Kentucky,
Yeah.
the thing in Kentucky, the program in Kentucky.
How about John Wooden? John Wooden too. Yeah.
John Wooden, 20 appearances. I'm looking him up. 20 appearances, 20 tournament appearances. 6 of those teams made the Final Four. 4 of those went to win the national championship. He won 4 national championships in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Adolph Rupp. Unbelievable. Mike Krzyzewski, of course.
He coached Pat Riley when he was at Kentucky.
Yeah. No, that's where my time.
I know.
Bobby Knight was great to watch because Bobby Knight.
He was entertaining. He was entertaining.
Very entertaining because he got mad and he was throwing chairs across the court. He was,
he may have tried to choke a player or two, but that's okay. Headbutted guy.
But this was his way. You have to understand.
I know.
This was his way. Makes sense. I mean, John Wooden, 27 years, almost 30 years with the
UCLA,
with the Bruins, not
UCLA.
The Boston Bruins. Yeah, UCLA, 10 national championships.
Amazing.
Including 7 straight at one point in the late 1960s and early 1970s. 6 straight. Then again, he probably had, I mean, wait a minute. Wasn't Bill Walton on one of those?
He was,
teams?
yeah. I was just thinking about him. Yeah, Bill Walton, the enigma himself. Bill Walton was a member of those Wooden teams. So
yeah. So
no, it's true.
It's just he's already. This is a list I looked up. 10 greatest college basketball coaches. Mike Krzyzewski's already listed. His number officially. We have Tim Phelan. It's also here. He is Eddie Sutton.
Oh yeah,
also,
that's right. Oklahoma State.
Lute Olson.
Oh yeah, Arizona.
Wildcats.
Arizona. Yep.
Jim Boeheim is here. Jim Calhoun is here. Dean Smith. Adolph Rupp. Mike Krzyzewski's number 3 on this list.
Makes sense.
Number 3.
Yeah, no, it makes.
He's already making the greatest coaches in college basketball history. He's already making those lists.
And it's is more than well deserved. I mean, he has had a legendary career. It kind of stinks that it had to come to an end in a loss to your arch rival in the Final Four. But I mean, just the fact that he got to the Final Four in his last go around and just went on that one last run. I mean, I think he'll take that. I think he'll take that all day long.
He's had a phenomenal career. I mean, he's done lots of different things in the sport of basketball. But if you look over his career, he has really been, the only word I can think of is legendary in what he's done with all those teams. With every single team.
I could not agree more. And obviously we wish him the best in retirement. And it'll be interesting to see where Duke goes from here without him at the helm. I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see.
Yeah, supposedly in the last 24 hours, there have been some reports that Coach K is not going to retire.
Oh, geez.
All right, so
not
again,
this.
everybody
Todd,
does
this is the Tom Brady effect. Right now, anytime any
Oh, is that what it's
legend
called?
retires, everyone's gonna. That's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm calling it. Because now every time a legend calls the question, be like, "Oh, is he gonna pull a Tom Brady and wait 2 months and then unretire?" Blah,
Right,
blah, blah, blah.
unretire.
It's
Yeah.
like, come on
So,
now.
so Coach K went on officially and said that here that I am not retiring. It is absolutely not true. I am retiring. So,
Yeah,
so he has debunked all those people who have said
he's debunked until he doesn't debunk it. See, there I go again.
right.
Now I'm adding to the to the speculation mill, as it would be. But
So
yeah, like
11 Final Fours, 4 national championships, becoming college basketball's all-time wins leader in Division One with 927 and counting. Not counting anymore, but might be 928. 2 Olympic gold medals in 2004 and 2008. Head coach of the U.S. Basketball team. Yeah,
just
32 years.
incredible stuff, and just
Over 30 years in basketball.
Yeah, just incredible stuff, and he will be missed in the college basketball ranks. But like I said, we wish him nothing but the best in retirement. And I just, I know we want to kind of start to move on to our second segment here that we are very excited about. But I did want to just give one last congratulations to, first of all, the Kansas on their national championship, but also to all the teams that made it to this year's NCAA men's basketball tournament. Obviously, a prestigious honor accomplishment to be able to make it to the big dance, as it's called. And we congratulate all those teams and congratulate them all on a great season as well.
Yes.
So we are now going to sort of shift gears a little bit to a sport that's actually just sort of starting up as college basketball is coming to an end. This sport is kind of just starting up its season, and that is Major League Baseball. Yes, baseball is back. We were not sure for a while if baseball was actually going to come back, but baseball has arrived, and it is fitting that on this day that we were recording is MLB opening day, not for the Red Sox because they got rained out to tomorrow, but it is MLB opening day, and I, for one, am extremely excited that the MLB season is upon us and the dawn of new hope, new optimism, and hopefully for the Red Sox, maybe another run at a World Series after last year's kind of unexpected run to the ALCS. And it's interesting, because obviously a lot of teams, Doug, got better this offseason in some big ways. And a lot of teams in the AL East got better in some big ways this season. You and I were talking about kind of off air, even on air a little bit, if the Red Sox were actually going to do anything, if they're actually going to kind of like spend money and sign somebody. And boy, did they ever, basically what was the very last minute, as they made a huge last minute splash in free agency, signing Trevor Story, formerly of the Colorado Rockies, to a what I think is a 6-year deal. In free agency to sort of sew up that middle of the infield, with him and now Xander Bogaerts, on paper looking like a very dynamic duo there in the middle of that Red Sox infield this season. So I kind of want to start there, Doug, before we get into sort of more general MLB preview here and sort of looking back at the off season that was, it almost wasn't, given, that lovely lockout that we won't talk about because it'll just lead me to either rant or get depressed, one or the other.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah, both. Just a wave of emotion just whenever I think back to that dark time in baseball. But I did want to get sort of your reaction first and foremost to the Trevor Story signing, because obviously we had talked about both on and off air the perceived lack of action on the Red Sox part and kind of the frustration among Red Sox Nation when it came to the fact that they really didn't seem to be moving on any of these free agents or signings. Exactly. I mean, that's,
I was like, what are they waiting for? Guys are coming off the
just falling off the
like,
board one after another after another. It's like, what are you doing?
Hello?
Yeah. But
it's like I called Chaim Bloom. I said, Chaim Bloom, hello.
Yeah, you called him from the moon. Yeah, the call actually went through, which was amazing.
I did.
You get great
service.
cell service up there. It's
very good cell service up here because it covers.
Yeah. Talk about 5G. But yeah,
that's what it took to get up here.
Yeah, exactly.
5G.
I hear you. A lot of bars to get up there.
Right,
for sure.
I meant G as in G4, but that's okay.
But I just
get that.
It's kind of.
That's all right. You didn't have to.
It's all right. But yeah, I just want to get sort of your take first off on the Trevor Story deal, and Chaim Bloom and John Henry more like it's sort of opening up the wall and actually going out and getting a big splash in free agency.
Yeah, I again, just like I said a few minutes ago, I think we were texting about this too, and I was like, are the Red Sox going to sign anybody?
I was about ready to go down to Fenway Park and go confront Chaim Bloom myself and be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
I was like, "Are you alive? What's going on?" And even some of the sportscasters were saying the same thing.
Yeah,
sports radio was talking about it too. It's like, okay, all these guys are starting to come off. It's usually all starting to go. Not that we need it a lot, I don't think, but it was one of those things where I was trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And then when I heard about Trevor's Story and the possibility of getting him, I was like, Yankees are going to come in. They're going to swoop in. They're going to grab him.
Yeah, somebody else is going to.
Somebody's going to come in and swoop in and just grab the Mets.
Yeah.
Anybody that's New York loves to kick our butt sometimes and offer more money. I don't think we've been tightwads necessarily when it comes to baseball. But still, it's one of those things. I thought this was a great sign. I thought this was not just a needed position, but you're getting a really, he's like the best player on Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. He's one of the best
player.
Infielders in the National League in baseball last year. I mean,
I believe he was the best. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I just think it was a great time. I really do. I think went out there and just did what they needed to do. Even if it took a really, really super long time.
Yeah, they basically signed him at the very end of spring training, which was
that
was
way
something.
Too late. It was way too late for me. But what are you gonna do? But I did think it was a great time.
I loved it. I mean, I think I texted you right away with 40 exclamation
Not only
points.
does he have great defense, Robbie, but he can hit the ball.
Oh, he can hit. Oh,
this
absolutely.
Guy can hit the ball.
He can hit, I think he'll be. They always talk about with guys. Oh, how's he going to hit a Fenway? The monster ball. I think he'll do just fine. If you could hit in Colorado, I think you could hit at Fenway.
Colorado's smaller than Fenway.
No, but I mean, do the air in Colorado? Do they even have air in Colorado? I think they have more.
They don't.
Air
I was out there for 5 days, and it's like being up here.
I think they have more air on the moon where you are right now than they do in Colorado.
Colorado, the air is very thin, and I was walking up and down stairs, and I was breathing. The air is very thin there. It takes a few days. I was only there for 5 or 6 days, but it gets real tough unless you have been there for a long time and you're used to it. I mean, you fly into the base of a mountain, so the air is.
Well, you don't want to be flying down any mountains, Doug. I mean, I don't know.
Not in the mountains, on the base of a mountain. That's where the airport is, silly coon.
I mean,
But
I don't know what kind of pilots you've been flying with, but I don't think you want to be flying into the mountain itself.
I know, and I flew into the moon though.
You did fly right into it. I mean, it's that is true. But yeah, no, I love the story signing. I mean, there's no question about it. I think, I'm just so excited at the prospect, even if it was just for 1 year, of the prospect of a Xander Bogaerts, Trevor Story middle infield, like both from a offensive and defensive perspective. That just fills me with just so much excitement. Like you can't even imagine. Like it's just that has the potential to be something amazing, and I'm just so excited to see it sort of come to fruition here. As the Sox open up the regular season tomorrow, by the way, even though, like I said, MLB opening day is today, but the Red Sox are not opening up until tomorrow in New York against the Yankees, which, I mean, what better way to open up the season than with, opening day in New York against the Yankees. But what I did, I kind of wanted to sort of look at this Red Sox team sort of as a whole, Doug, heading into this season, because I mean, obviously they do return a lot of pieces from last year's team, which as I said, unexpectedly in a sense, made it all the way to the ALCS against Houston, as I was saying before. They do return a lot of.
That one hurt. That hurt.
Yeah, I don't
that hurt. Really hurt.
I don't really want to talk about the way that the thud that
Robbie's,
season
Robbie's
came to an end.
Robbie's had to have some counseling.
I'm seeing Laz Diaz ball calls in my sleep after that one. No, but I think my whole thing is that they are bringing back a solid core from that team. Now it is interesting, Doug, and let's kind of touch on this first. Is that, speaking of big money players, a certain starting pitcher has found himself again starting off the season on the injured list with a rib injury this time. Go figure. One Chris Sale, who cannot seem to get off of the IL these days, and actually earn the hundreds of millions of dollars that he's being paid by this team. Is again on the 60-day DL to begin this season, which you definitely don't want to see, as the Red Sox look to compete in the getting tougher by the day, I feel like, AL East. But again, just your reaction, first of all, to that, Chris Sale, again, another season where we start off with Chris Sale on the sidelines.
Yeah, we need to put him in bubble wrap.
We really do. Not even bubble wrap, in an entire bubble, just to have a bounce around.
Put him in a bubble, then in bubble wrap, then in a safety box. Because this guy always seems to find. Somebody just sneezed on the move. Sorry.
Those aliens, man. Just hanging out up there.
I don't know who it was, but it was a regular sneeze, so it could have been human. I don't know. I hope they didn't sneeze in that helmet. That's a real bitch to clean up.
Yeah.
Anyway, he seems to find a way to. I don't know how we can keep him healthy. I mean, he walks out of his house and he seems to. I mean, he just walks and he cracks a rib. I mean, I don't understand this. I don't get this. I don't understand. I mean, it didn't seem frail when he first came here. And all of a sudden, he's like the frailest guy in the whole world. You stick him in somewhere where he doesn't get hurt.
Right.
It's just, I guess what it comes down to is just really frustrating. Really super frustrating. Because we know what kind of pitcher he can be. But he needs to stay healthy. And he just can't seem to stay healthy.
No.
It's just really super frustrating.
It really is. I'm getting a little tired of, the sort of on and then off again Chris Sale in terms of, injuries. I mean, it's getting to be ridiculous at this point. Like you said, just the fact that he cannot stay on the field. He does seem to be out there, like in somewhat key situations, like playoffs. He does tend to be out there.
He's got a great attitude. I'm not even talking about his
No,
attitude.
no. I know.
Phenomenal. So just like I was saying, Robbie, we have to stick him into bubble wrap because he just, for some reason, he just cannot seem to find a year where he's not hurt.
Yeah,
he got the greatest attitude in the world. I mean,
I love the fire of that guy when he's on the mound.
Remember the last time he got hurt, he just got really super frustrated. He's like, I can't. I don't know why this is happening. Blah blah. I can't. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Blah blah. The fact is that he can't seem to, get onto the field and stay on the field. And it's super frustrating. That's all it is.
No, it is. I mean, that's the most concise way to put it right there. It is super frustrating. And, I obviously hope, for the best for him. I want him to come back and get healthy and hopefully come back strong at some point this season. But you're right. I mean, it's got to be frustrating for him. It's frustrating for all of us. We want him out there pitching for us. But obviously, we will, for at least the first couple months here, have to deal without. And so what I want to sort of talk about here with this 2022 Red Sox team is just sort of, when you look at this team, what are sort of the straight, to put it simply, what are the strengths that you see? See, now I'm not able to speak words. I'm so frustrated by Chris Sale that my words are not coming to me right now.
There it is.
But like, what are the strengths? Oh my God, I cannot speak. You were having trouble earlier, Doug. Now it's my turn. I think you passed the word. The word issue.
But my air is thin, man. I have an excuse. What's your excuse?
I'm in a tight room. I'm in a confined room here. It's getting to me.
That's all right.
Strengths and weaknesses of this team.
Right.
Yes. Maybe if I say it 100 times, it'll actually be able to sound like I'm actually saying it. But yeah, was just sort of, what are your thoughts from that perspective on this 2022 Red Sox team? When you look at them, again, on the eve for us of the season opener.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, we have a lot of guys coming back, so I think the strengths and weaknesses, in my mind, and I'm just going to tell you truthfully, in my mind, the strengths and weaknesses are still the same as last year, except for the fact that, because I haven't seen them this year yet, so many guys are coming back. I guess a couple of issues I have is, and we may be talking about this in a little bit. So if we are, and that's maybe the next question, then I apologize. I didn't get what questions you have front, so I don't know this. But we basically have two guys that are on the end of their contracts. One of them is Bogarts, the other is Devers.
Yeah.
They were supposed to get contracts right before. They were sent numbers for their new contracts. They wanted to get it done before the season. And they both rejected the numbers. Both of them, Rafael Devers and Bogarts, both. Bogarts' number, he came back with a number, and it was rejected because they were like, so I'm trying to think of whether that's going to be a factor, because Xander Bogart says, look, I'm not all about my contract right now. I don't want to think about my contract until the end of the season. I want to play baseball. I want to think about it as we go through the season or whatever. We can talk about it maybe mid-season, maybe all-star game, maybe whatever, but I don't want to think about that right now. And, okay, that's fine. But, and Rafi Devers, same thing. Now, Rafi Devers gets upset when he strikes out. So the issue I have is that whether he's going to take his little contract thing and just put it in his head, and whether he's going to play well. So those are, if I were to, and again, I don't know strengths and weaknesses yet. I think our pitching is pretty good. Then again, I don't know because I haven't seen any of these guys. I mean, if Valdi's doing the opening, I think he's going to come back better than ever. Don't know about Sales. Sales like out to lunch for 60 days, so we don't know what the hell happened or what's going to happen down the road. Sale may be a weakness. Maybe a weakness. If he comes back really strong after 60 days and comes in and helps the team, hey, we're good. But right now, he's a weakness, as far as I'm concerned. I think Story is strength. I think we definitely, I mean, you said it perfectly. Bogarts and Story in the infield. Are you kidding me? That's
every baseball fan's dream right there. That's like a dream middle infield. That's like if you had a fantasy baseball team, like that's your middle infield right there.
Exactly. Oh, definitely.
MLB the Show middle infield. Trevor Story and Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, if you're making your own team,
a franchise mode. I know you love that franchise mode. Like that'd be something you would do probably. If Trevor Story's in.
I would do it in a heartbeat, but if I get MLB, which I haven't gotten in a long time because it's so slow for me. Just because it's baseball. Baseball is a little slow, so the game itself is a little slow. I like it. It's not a bad game. It's just a little slow. I get the hockey and the basketball. I have the basketball and hockey's over. So I don't know. Anyway, I think what it comes down to is that's definitely a strength right there. Infield is going to be a strength, a huge strength. So I think those are that I can come up with right now are kind of the strength and weaknesses without even seeing the team, without even seeing, and you can't even tell what the strengths and weaknesses are until you have about 10 to 15 games under your belt anyway. You're not going to know anything from the first game or the second game or the third game. We talked about this in past episodes. That's with every team. You're not going to know strengths and weaknesses. I mean, if Eovaldi, I don't think this is going to happen. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope I'm not. But if Eovaldi goes out and throws a goose egg and sucks, is that going to be his season? It's the first game.
Yeah.
It's the first game. So if I were to put the strengths and weaknesses together, another strength? AAA farm system.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of young guys.
They got a lot of young guys down there with a lot of talent.
Yeah.
They're saying, and I just saw a couple of things when just earlier in the last couple days, they're saying that the Red Sox AAA system is probably top 10, maybe, in the MLB, in the fact that there's a ton of talent down there. So, I mean, that's huge. I mean, Tristan Casas, this guy's knocking the cover off the ball.
I know.
Guy is killing it down there.
Yeah.
So I think another strength, Robbie, would definitely be their farm system, at least this year, when it hasn't been in the past.
Right.
When they haven't been able to rely on their farm system. Had to trade or whatever, just keep it doing it. So I think the farm system is going to be a big plus.
Oh,
so we'll have to see what happens. But those, I think, are the strengths and weaknesses that I can. Are there anything that I missed? I'm sure there is. Baseball guru. So.
No, I know, right? I know. What I was going to say is I totally agree with you. I totally agree. First of all, I think you make a valid point that we cannot fully sort of put our finger on strengths and weaknesses yet because obviously the season has not begun yet. I would say, looking at it going in on paper, I would say that the offense is a big strength. With the addition of Story combined with how strong that offense looked last year, I think that is still a strength of this team. I think a weakness is still the pitching staff. I don't think that they did enough to upgrade the pitching staff, and with the loss of Sale, it could be a bit of an issue. I'm not saying it's going to be, again, we don't know,
I
but
agree with that.
it has the potential to be an issue. It's just if I'm looking at it strictly on paper going in, I think that is the biggest weakness of this team is the pitching staff.
And by the way, I just looked
hope,
up the rankings. I looked up the rankings for the farm system. I was a little bit off on that. They're actually ranked number 20 in the league for farm system. So that's not bad. But they still have a lot of talent.
They still have some
talent down there.
Good young
have some
talent
nice
coming
talent
up.
down there.
So one thing I wanted to ask, there's sort of two more points I wanted to touch on this subject. And the first one you kind of brought up earlier, which is the whole Bogaerts contract situation in particular. And it's interesting because Trevor Story is a natural shortstop. He is a shortstop. He's going to be playing second base this year, but that's not his natural position. He is a shortstop. And that has led a lot of people to speculate, could that mean that Xander Bogaerts as shortstop is not in the Red Sox long-term plans? It's a very good question. I don't know. It's tough because I would love to see both Xander Bogaerts and Trevor Story on this team. But I get what people are saying, that Story is a shortstop. You just signed him to this huge deal. It begs the question, what does that mean for Xander Bogaerts and what they are willing, to do to try to keep him here in Boston after this season? I mean, I don't know, obviously, what's going on in their mind. I don't profess to know, what the Red Sox are thinking in terms of long-term, but it does raise some interesting questions now that you have basically two natural shortstops on, who are in the prime, both in the prime of their careers on the same team. And it's going to be very interesting to me. And Doug, I want to get sort of your take on this, because you usually have good ways of sort of providing insight and, sort of phrasing situations like this. What does the Trevor Story signing? I'll ask this question straight up and simply. What does the Trevor Story signing mean to you for Xander Bogaerts' future here in Boston?
Well, the good thing about Trevor Story is that he's actually willing to play something. He wants to play, and he should play because he's a great hitter, he's a great fielder, he's a great player.
Yeah.
So my feeling is that, and he's willing to sacrifice his natural position, unlike Xander Bogaerts, who doesn't feel comfortable playing second base. And I get that. I think that this is a let's see. I think Chaim Bloom is saying, let's see what happens. Right. Let's see how they work together. Let's see what we can do. And maybe we do keep them both. And maybe Trevor Story's like, you know what? I don't care. Like Blake, it's the infield. I know I'm a natural shortstop, but I mean, is there I mean, there is a difference between second base on how you play it, obviously. But what it comes down to is that he's obviously a team player. But my whole thought when I heard about this was, the first thing I thought about when I heard Trevor Story, I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is awesome. He's a great player. Oh my God, I've heard of the guy. That's the first thing I said. I'm like, oh my God, I've heard of this player.
Someone I know, yes.
Someone I know. I mean, Chaim Bloom didn't get Bob Smith, who I don't know, from freaking St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's great. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the second thing I thought about was wait a minute, he's a shortstop. Where's Xander Bogaerts? Then I said, wait a minute, his contract's up. Wait a minute, what's going on? And then I heard that Trevor was like, yeah, I'll play second base. I don't have whatever I need to do for the team. So I play. The guy just wants to play. And he deserves to play with his contract. He should play.
Yeah.
But what it comes down to is that I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think that Chaim Bloom is going to look at and see how they play together. He's going to see how Xander Bogaerts plays. Because Xander's basically playing for a new contract.
Yeah. Oh, it's
That's
a
what he's playing
contract
for
year
right
for
now.
him. Absolutely.
He's got to step it up. Not that he hasn't played badly. I'm just saying he's got to step it up. This is a contract year. If he doesn't, guess what? This is my thought, and
Yeah.
I would like to see them together too. My thought is they don't give Xander Bogaerts a contract. They go out, they have Story, they keep Story at shortstop. That's my thought. They keep Story at shortstop. They still have that power. They still have that really, really good infielder. Bring somebody up to take care of something. Because Xander won't play second base. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's my thought. And then my feeling is that is it really that bad of a deal? No. I don't think it's that bad of a deal at all. I think it's a good deal. I think it's perfect. I think that's they have the ability to go either way. I also personally don't think that Xander Bogaerts is going to get the kind of money that he wants to get because I don't think he's an elite. I don't think he's an elite player up to Story's level yet. I think he's close. I think he's almost there. He's a great infielder. He just has to work on his hitting. But my opinion is that you can go either way with it. That's why I think Chaim Bloom's going to test this out. See,
Yeah.
but that's what I think is going to happen. Is that this is the test. This is a test for both of those guys. Rafi Devers too. I don't think Rafi Devers played the most. He wasn't the most awesome player. He had his moments, but he's playing for a freaking contract.
He could be consistent at times, especially on the offensive side of things.
He can't because all of a sudden he hits like two or three. He hits 2 home runs in the game. He's got some great plays in the field. One game, and the next game he's like he can't hit the ball if they were underhanding the ball, and he wasn't able to hit it. So he's super inconsistent. So both of these guys, okay, that's fine. Play for a contract this year.
Yeah.
Right ahead.
Maybe that'll be a good for us that he's playing for a contract because then he'll like just have an amazing year and help us, make a nice long run here. So
we're hoping,
I'll definitely take
but
that.
a general manager has to look at that and have a backup plan. And I think Trevor Story's the backup.
Yeah,
that's just my feeling. He's already on the team. So my feeling is that he's the backup. So what you do is Bogaerts wants millions, $100 million. Is he really going to get that at the end of the year? Well, he's got to really play like he's off the hook.
He's got to basically play like Derek Jeter level, like shortstop. Like
he's got to play like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's what he's got to play, and he's got to be consistent throughout the year. If he's not, I guarantee you they're not going to give him the kind of contract he wants. They're not going to give him the money he wants. But then what you do is you never want a player just to fly away. Maybe they decide, maybe he's like, well, you know what, I'll decide to trade him. Trade him for a team for a second baseman or something like that. Cash.
Well, I mean, hey,
a bag of balls.
Look at what they've done. I mean, look at what they did with Mookie Betts, back in 2020. I mean, it was kind of
we didn't want him to go either.
No,
I want him to go, but
I still don't want him to go. I still don't want him. 3 years. I still don't want him.
But the fact is that you have a backup. Your backup is you move Trevor Story right over to his natural position.
Yeah.
You pick up a second baseman, man.
Yeah.
It might even be somebody who's in the farm system.
Yeah.
Bring up and try him out for a little bit. Maybe Bogaerts needs a little, needs a little rest. He gets hurt a little bit. If he gets hurt, forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. If he gets hurt, he's got to stay healthy and be out there and do his thing. But that's what I think. I think Chaim Bloom has set himself up for whatever seems to happen. Is this the best possible situation for this year? Yeah, it is. But I think it's going to happen next year. No. But I don't think Trevor Story's going anywhere. I think you got your backup. You got your backup for the next few years at least. But I don't know if Bogaerts is going to be.
Yeah,
he's got to prove it.
It's definitely something worth watching. For sure.
But that's my thought.
No, I mean, I think you hit it perfectly. I think it makes a lot of sense because you kind of have the heir apparent there at shortstop in Story. So if Bogarts wants to stay here and wants that money and wants to keep his position, it seems he's got to earn it, like you said.
Yes.
Without that, the last thing I want to sort of touch on is more of a sort of a general AL East question here, because obviously, the Red Sox, they made some moves at the end there and got better, but I feel like a lot of the other teams in the AL East got much better as well. Toronto, especially. I mean, boy, they're just picking up everybody at one point prior to the lockouts. I mean, the MLB, the AL East, I should say, is looking like it's going to be one of the tougher divisions in baseball this season, and I'm believe me, I'm so there for it. But it's not going to be a cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination. So I just sort of the last topic I wanted to touch on this, Doug, was just when you look at the AL East in general as we enter this 2022 season, just some general thoughts on the AL East. By the way,
Is that Chaim Bloom?
Chaim Bloom's calling. Yeah, he wanted to give me an update. But no, I was just curious, sort of your just overall thoughts on the AL East as we enter this season, and that's pretty much where I wanted to go with that.
No, it sounds good. I there have been a little bit of forecasts and projections for the AL East this year, especially just recently. And there's one word that they're describing, and I would agree with the AL East and how that division is going to be. And it's one word, and it's chaos.
Well, the MLB did tweet out a graphic showing 4 of the 5 AL East teams the exact same record the other day.
Yes, that was
like literally the exact same record. Yeah,
that was the story. They are predicting, because the Red Sox got a little better. A lot of, just like you said, Toronto got better.
Toronto's scary, man. They're scary.
Toronto's very scary. Toronto's very scary.
Scary heading into this year.
Yeah. So they're predicting that the AL East could come down to. They're predicting that it could come. I'm laughing because it's crazy. Could come down to game 162.
Well, look at the way it ended last year. I mean, look at just the way they buy. It is interesting because now with there being a 7 team, a top 7 for the playoffs, as opposed to with being the one extra team. So top. Why isn't it like 7 or 6 or something like that? Didn't they redid the playoff format? Now I'm completely blanking on how they redid the playoff format.
When they changed the rules, I defer to you because you're the rules guy.
I should know this. I should know this offhand, and now I'm having a moment. So you keep going. I'm gonna do a quick.
I understand. Here. I understand that they're deciding this year as a new rule that after 10 innings, they're putting somebody on third. I'm sorry. I just on third base. No, they're not. Robbie can't stand that.
Oh, it's going to be all right. So if you don't mind, I just looked.
Go ahead,
if you don't mind, just really quick. So it's a 12. I know. I literally threw myself a party when they announced that rule was not going to be coming back after this season.
He did. I was actually virtually at that party.
But it's a 12-team format this year, so 6 teams per league. You're going to have the 3 division winners and 3 wild cards. So it's actually, there's going to be no more wild card game. You're going to have the top 3 seeds be the 3 division winners in order of.
It's going to be a disaster.
in order of record, and then you'll have the 3 best records among 9 division winners
I
for the
think
4
I'm going to
through
stay
6
up
seeds.
here in the moon area because this is going to really be. It's going to be crazy.
And then,
man.
by the way, in the quote unquote wild card round, you're going to have the 3 hosting the 6 and the 4 hosting the 5 for a 3-game series. And then the winners will move on to the divisional series for the usual, best of 5 and then best of 7, and then obviously the World Series there. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's going to be more playoff baseball this year. And have to see how exactly that works. But anyway, continue. Sorry, I kind of cut you off there, but continue
No, that's
your
fine.
thoughts
That's fine.
on
No, I was just saying.
the AL East.
I just think they're correct. I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays look good too. I mean,
Yeah. And the Yankees, as much as I hate to say it, they always have that strong lineup. Even though I know they lost Sanchez, but they still have a ton of talent in that lineup.
Yeah, the projections is that the Blue Jays, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Yankees, and the Red Sox all finished with identical records, 88 and 74, all identical, which I think is crazy, and it would be absolutely chaotic.
It would be chaotic, yeah.
But you know what? You know what I'm thinking? This isn't a negative. Because if they're all winning games, it can all be. But if they all end up with the same record, when's that ever happen? I mean, it doesn't happen.
That'd be crazy. Yeah,
it would be crazy,
nuts.
But it would be really, really fun to watch.
Could you imagine if you had
what's going on?
Actually, could you imagine if you had? And again, I mean, this is very unlikely, but can you imagine if you had 4 of the 6 AL playoff teams were from the AL East? You could conceivably have that with the AL East champion, and then you could conceivably have the top 3 wildcard teams be all from the AL East, in a sort of crazy chaotic scenario there. So that would be wild.
They're also predicting that Boston is going to. They're projected to finish 4th in the AL East and has a better than 50% chance to reach the postseason. Is a testament to the strength of this loaded division.
Yeah.
The chance to win the division is really low. The percentage is like 23%. But to make the playoffs, it's over 50. It's over 50, close to 55%. That's what the prediction is. But they can't even do the predictions because every team is just so close, and it's just really, really difficult. The Rays won 100 games. I mean, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see. My prediction, the only prediction I'm going to say right now, right here on the moon, is the fact that the Red Sox are going to be right there. With every other team, they're going to be right there. That's my only prediction I have right now before even the season starts. I mean, I know the season started, but before the Red Sox season actually starts, that's what I'm going to predict. The Red Sox are going to be right there with everybody else. It should be very interesting to see how it kind of.
I agree. It's gonna be a fun season to watch, is what it's really gonna be, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And obviously, I'm very excited that there is baseball in this 2022 season, and I just can't wait to see how the Reds. I'm over the moon. I literally have gone over you for the fact that there is baseball in 2022, and like I said, it's going to be fun to watch. I think is what it really is the perfect way to sum it up. So that being said, we are now going to move on to sort of the end portion of our episodes like we do every episode, and that is our lovely final thoughts, because we always have some lovely final thoughts. And Doug, as always, I will kick it over to you to begin with your final thoughts for tonight's episode.
Yeah, my final thought is kind of a little bit of a downer. I mean, I'm going to try to think of something that goes better. I have one final thought, and I'm hoping it's not something that could be serious enough for anything. Anyway, talking about March Madness, talking about college basketball. Unfortunately, there's an FBI investigation.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I found that out tonight as I was kind of looking up some things. And it turns out that there's a whole bunch of teams on the FBI's list that they're kind of looking at.
Yeah.
And it's called paying money for the best recruits. And interesting to see, I didn't see a list, but our national champion is actually on from 2017. So I'm hoping that nothing comes of it. I'm hoping that they don't find something that happened this year that is a controversy and they do something. I don't know. What I don't know what they can do. I know it's an ongoing investigation from 2017, I believe.
Right.
So, and I don't know if it's ongoing. It says it's ongoing, so that means it could be 2017 through this year. I don't know. I know it started in 2017 and on that list. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what comes of it. Anyway, I'm glad to see that Kansas won, and hopefully this stuff will. I mean, it can't necessarily go away. You have to follow the rules, but hopefully there won't be too much ramification from it. I mean, we know ramifications that come with Patriots and Red Sox, cheating scandals and all kinds of stuff. We've had it. Other teams have had it too. Other states have had it. Other college basketball teams and stuff like that. So yeah. I do want to, however, on a happier note, I do want to graduate. Yeah, I want to graduate from the moon to Earth. I don't know what I'm saying either. It's very thin up here. The air is very thin. I want to congratulate. I want to congratulate the women's.
Yes.
South Carolina.
Yes.
South Carolina.
The Gamecocks.
Yeah, I want to graduate South Carolina Gamecocks.
Did you say graduate again?
Graduate them to the national championship. Yes, I do. I'd like to graduate them. And I hope they have a wonderful graduation. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's very nice. And again, looking forward to the starting of the Red Sox season starting tomorrow night. So that's my final thoughts for this episode of the Sports Blitz. Robbie, I'm going to throw it back over to you because I have no idea what I'm talking about and can't say anything right. So I'm going to throw it over to you for your thoughts.
All right, so
episode.
I have two final thoughts, and one, Doug, actually, I'm going to sort of bring you into here for my second final thought. So get ready. But my first final thought, speaking of March Madness, not on the court in this case, but actually on the ice this weekend. Actually going on right now is the semifinals, and Saturday night is the finals. Is the Frozen Four for the NCAA men's ice hockey tournament. The reason why I bring that up
here because it's pretty frozen.
Well, the reason why I bring that up is that is taking place in Boston as we speak. TD
it's actually right there. See that little top?
Yeah, there's TD Garden right there, Doug. You nailed it. Yeah, but it's taking place The semifinals, like I said, going on right now at TD Garden. You had Denver actually beat Michigan 3-2 in overtime in the first semifinal, and now Minnesota currently leads Minnesota State 1-0 after one period in the second semifinal, with the winners advancing to the national championship game Saturday night again at TD Garden. So I just wanted to wish obviously both those teams, Denver and either Minnesota or Minnesota State, best of luck in the championship. And as someone who went to the Frozen Four the last time it was at TD Garden back in 2015, when Providence, a New England school, came out and won it all, I could definitely say it's always a fun time, always a fun take. And so just wanted to quickly wish those teams best of luck. But my second final thought that I kind of wanted to make into a combo final thought is that another Boston area team that is currently in their off season actually made kind of somewhat of a big splash themselves in the free agency trade market in the past couple of weeks. That is our New England Patriots, who made a trade for a receiver who is very well known and very well respected, being Devontae Parker, formerly of the Miami Dolphins. And I know for me personally, I was texting Doug, I was very excited about this move. I think if he could stay healthy, I think Devontae Parker could be a great asset for Mac Jones, in terms of that wide receiver core. And I just, like I said, Doug, I wanted to sort of make this a combo final thought by asking you just sort of quickly for your thoughts on the Devontae Parker pickup by the Patriots.
A little bit of a surprise for me, but certainly not. I mean, certainly not a bad pickup. I mean, he's a tall guy. He's 6'3", so he is, one of those guys who played very, very well for Miami. I believe he's 29. Yes, he's 29 years old.
Yeah.
So he's young. The issue is health and making sure that he's I mean, that's with everybody in football. That's still everybody with any sport, but he doesn't have a Chris Sale type of he's not a Chris Sale that gets hurt every year. And I think he can help the Patriots. I was excited about it. I was a little, when it happened, I was like, okay, no, Miami. Oh, okay. He was basically a Patriots killer.
Mm-hmm.
He would do very, very well against us. I'm glad he's on our team. So, I mean, he's another piece. Now I'm going to throw something out. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but it might. Look very carefully at OBJ. There is a possibility. If we get a healthy OBJ, and unfortunately, I'm not sure if we get him. I'm not sure if he can even play.
Yeah, I don't know how long he's out for, because that injury in the
typically that injury is about, I don't think it's a year. I think it's like 6 months. So he might not be ready until mid-season. But just look for that. I know they've had discussions about it, and I know OBJ's willing to come to the Patriots. I don't know if we'll do that or not. Do I think Devontae Parker will help? Yes, absolutely. If he can stay healthy, I think it's a great grade, great pickup. I think he definitely can help us out. I'm just trying to figure out. We have a couple of guys who are dead wood on the team. I'm trying to figure out, they're going to keep him, or is he just going to try to trade him, or what? So
yeah,
we'll have to see down the road. But yeah, I think it is a good pickup.
No, I agree with you. I think if he can stay healthy, again, I sort of said it before. I think he could be a great threat for Mac, in that wide receiving core. And I mean, he's always looked really good against the Patriots, in his time down there in Miami. And I would hope that, again, if he could stay healthy, that he could bring that same success here with him. So I'm very excited to see the potential with Devontae Parker here in New England. So very exciting time for Boston sports. And that is going to bring us to the end of tonight's episode of the Sports Blitz. Listen, folks, if you want to give us a watch, you could do it right here on YouTube. We are also on Facebook. We are on Twitter. Please drop us a like. Yep, drop us a like, drop us a subscription, ring the bell. I mean, we always tell you, ring that dang bell, man. We always appreciate you ringing that bell. Also, please give a watch to the other two shows in our YouTube trilogy, that being On a Couch Talking Sports, which, by the way, new episode just dropped a couple of days ago, and Marvel at the Movies. Great content being thrown out there.
Marvel at the Movies, we're going to do another episode coming up beginning of the week, so it should be out toward the end of the week.
Yeah.
So next week.
Great
There'll be another
stuff.
one out. Yep.
Great stuff already for Marvel at the Movies, and great stuff coming for Marvel at the Movies. And speaking of great stuff coming, Doug, we actually have brewing a very exciting next episode of the Sports Blitz. I'm not going to give too much away, but I'm just going to tell you that there's the potential of a very special guest brewing. Just not going to go much further than that. Only to tell you that we've got some exciting stuff planned, and the wheels are spinning here.
Percolating, so it's brewing. Please watch our last episode. Last one we actually.
Yeah. No, I know. Yes.
Which had Wes Woodson on it.
Wes Woodson. Yeah.
Great. It's a great episode.
And speaking of Wes, as always, a big shout out to our sponsors, Zyman Organizations or Zyman Organizing, and Wes Woodson.
Yep.
I mean, just thank you to them as always for their continued support of all three of our shows, let alone this show, the Sports Blitz, that I can actually pronounce, unlike Doug. So that is going to do it for us here, both on Earth and on the moon. For Doug, I can't even look at you because I'm going to start laughing while I'm trying to close out the show. For Doug, I'm Robbie, and we will see you next time on another interstellar edition of the Sports Blitz. Catch you later, everybody.